The Noble Eightfold Path, Bringing End to Suffering. Hello and welcome again to Dumi's Daily Grind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're doing well. My name is Dumi and my journey began on the 13th of October 2021. As always, here I talk about recovery, spiritual growth, mental health issues, sobriety, relapses, and spiritual well-being, focusing mainly on the daily work, the grind that goes into finding peace of mind, contentment, and freedom from addiction. Today, I'm having a look at the Buddhist path to happiness. This episode is inspired by the latest book I've just completed called 8 Mindful Steps to Happiness, Walking the Buddha's Path, written by Bhante Gunaratana, following the book he wrote called Mindfulness in Plain English. In this book, he explains in a simple and engaging style each step of the Buddha's most profound teachings of bringing end to suffering through the 8 practices that are right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right meditation. This complete guide to finding happiness, the Buddhas invited all people to come and see, to come home and examine their lifestyles, to come very close to their bodies and minds and not to get lost in beliefs and suppositions and try to find out what is really going on. What I realized is that I'm very good at gathering information without actually putting that advice into practice, and knowledge alone has not helped me in the past. So now, while I was reading this book, I kept asking myself questions as advised in the beginning. Am I gathering this information to seem more knowledgeable? Am I really looking for ways to finding serenity? And with that, the actual message became clear and simple to follow. It says that even those who do not have any knowledge of these teachings will be able to implement this advice and start the journey to finding contentment through looking within. This journey has allowed me to look at my bad habits with a fine-tooth comb so I can start the path into changing them. What gets me upset? Disappointed? What are my psychic irritants? What triggers these negative thoughts that cause my suffering through dissatisfaction? We try to stop the pain we feel by trying to change the world and people around us, instead of working to reduce our psychic irritants. This requires training and practice, especially through creating right understanding, making strong effort, and practicing continuous mindfulness. This advice looks at how to deal with anger, worry, misery, and fantasy, and how to release yourselves from carrying the world on your shoulders. It encourages us to investigate our unhappiness and be willing to do whatever it takes to reach our lasting happiness. The external circumstances that affect us include rapid technological advances, increased wealth, stress, stable lives and careers coming under the pressure of the constantly accelerating change, economic dislocation, and disruption of our regular patterns. So here, I summarized a step-by-step method of mental training to achieve contentment. All we require for now is the strong desire to change our lives by adopting new habits and learning to see the world with a new pair of glasses. Through practicing mindfulness and learning to see the world exactly as it is and not how we perceive it, it is easy for me to deal with the moments of contentment in life, moments of pleasures and joy, but very hard to deal with tragedy, grief, pain, disappointment, loneliness, resentment, etc. Our happiness is fragile and is dependent on the reliance on certain external circumstances right now. Can we find the happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances and conditions? Can we find this perfect happiness, complete success? Are we willing to be completely honest with ourselves and be willing to put all our efforts in changing our harmful habits? Are we willing to investigate the roots of resistance and cravings? Why is happiness so elusive? We always seek happiness externally with material comfort, family life, a wealth of pleasurable experiences and security, but this happiness has its limitations as it is conditional. We know that what we perceive to be happiness is not completely so. Having everything does not mean complete happiness. It seems these things that should make us happy are the source to our misery because they do not last too long. Relationships end, investments fail, people lose their jobs, kids move away, and we have seen this extensively with the COVID pandemic. Change is the only constant and threatens our comfort and what we think we need to be happy. We need to discover the source of true happiness. The lesser happiness of clinging has been lumped in with the lowest category and is experienced through the 5 physical senses: eyesight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. And indulging in the senses does not lead to perfect happiness because it is almost always short-lived. This is what we refer to as instant gratification, as it is the happiness of favorable conditions or sensual pleasures. The happiness of clinging at its worst can lead to debauchery, depravity, and addiction. There are better and more stable sources of happiness that are not conditional at all. These are the happiness of renunciation, prayer, spiritual development, solitude, generosity, letting go, etc. The happiness of letting go of psychic irritants, which is achieved through letting go of anger, desire, attachments, jealousy, pride, etc. The pleasure of deep state of concentration is one of the higher forms of happiness, even though it is not permanent. However, the highest source of happiness is the bliss of attaining enlightenment with uninterrupted sublime happiness. This can be achieved through letting go of our lower forms of happiness and focusing on finding enlightenment. However, on the journey to finding enlightenment, we should maximize whatever happiness we have without worry and stress through practicing right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. Through feeling, there is craving. Through craving, there is seeking. Through pursuit, there is gain. With gain, there is decision making. With decision making, there are desire and lust, which lead to attachment. Attachment creates possessiveness, which lead to stinginess and safeguarding. And because of safeguarding, there is evil, conflicts, and negative speech. This cycle we experience every day as we pursue happiness in our daily lives. It is an endless trap into the cycle of cause and effect, the cycle of unhappiness, and destroys the contented mind. The solution is to reverse the cycle, starting with our negative behavior. We may be able to eliminate the source of our unhappiness. Without craving and grasping, happiness is assured. The journey begins, and happiness begins with eliminating craving. Ending craving through willpower is almost impossible, though. And the gradual training of the eightfold path is the solution to eliminating craving. We start wherever we are and move step by step, gradually developing the skills required to slowly get rid of craving, building upon each small success. The basic steps, these eightfold paths, have 3 stages that build upon each other, which are morality, skillful understanding, step 1, skillful thinking, step 2. These mental skills help us in distinguishing between good and bad. We can then start practicing skillful speech, step 3, skillful action, step 4, and skillful livelihood, step 5. These are the practical steps of good moral conduct, which will then lead to concentration, skillful effort, step 6, followed by skillful mindfulness, step 7. Skillful concentration, step 8, allows us to focus the mind on one idea without interruption. This allows us to honestly see deeply into our situation. Out of concentration, we can then develop wisdom, which brings us back to the first 2 steps, to the path, which are skillful understanding and skillful thinking. We will then start developing insights into our behavior, how our thoughts, our words, and our deeds have hurt us and others, and we see right through our lies and see the way out of the tanglement of our unhappiness. Morality, concentration, and wisdom reinforce each other, and we will start seeing the change we seek and accept full responsibility for our thoughts and our actions. Suggested changes that we need to make when we start this journey. Simplify your life through reducing or eliminating unnecessary tasks you perform daily to achieve greater peace and quiet. Tending to your own development must be made a priority, and time needs to be allocated daily. Solitude is important to allow self-focus and awareness to prepare the mind for daily mindfulness. Exercise self-restraint, clean up your space, and then move to dealing with your mind's attachments. Ensure you have a healthy body through exercise, yoga, a long daily walk. Give yourself a healthy diet through avoiding junk food, alcohol, other stimulants, as these make it more difficult to concentrate. Eat to live and don't live to eat. We may discover that hunger is a habit. We have to meditate daily, preferably in the morning, and in the evening will help us progress through this journey. We have to cultivate goodness, generosity, faith, patience as the beginning of the journey toward awakening. Do not expect others to make you happy. Look within and discover yourself, and have faith in your potential to finding contentment. Be confident and have optimism. Find a teacher, a mentor, a sponsor, or a therapist, and be willing to explore the teachings with open-mindedness. Find someone who knows more than you and someone who possesses the ideal spirituality that you are aiming for. Choose your guide wisely, someone who will encourage you to do the right thing and is gentle and patient in gifting you their knowledge without hesitation. Find a support group that deals with your problems, that is available freely, and avoid people who charge high fees and may not be willing to assist when you need them the most and cannot afford to pay them. Take it easy and remember that it may be a slow process at first, but results may take a long time. Read and practice the literature regularly and build the habits that you will need to advance toward contentment. These steps will be the beginning of the journey toward enlightenment. I encourage you to read both of these books and implement this advice in your daily life. Work toward having the right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right meditation. I also encourage you to read your Bible, your big book, or whatever literature you have available that encourages you moral living. Because without craving, we find happiness. My full name is Boitumelo, and it means happiness. In Sizulu, it is Njabulo, the perfect happiness. Thank you so much for your time, your support, and being with me on this journey to finding serenity. If you enjoy listening to me, please do not forget to subscribe and let your friends, your family, and your tribe know that they can also join me on this journey toward finding serenity and some peace of mind. Until I see you next time, stay well and God bless you and keep you safe today. I wish we find the full benefit the Noble Eightfold Path provides when we are ready to embark on this journey to finding happiness and end suffering. Be diligent with the work required to achieve your spiritual goals and experience serenity and peace of mind. The answers we need are right in front of us and will be revealed if we truly seek them.